Dinotopia the Sunstone Odyssey tries to do what many others have attempted, and that's to make a dinosaur experience unlike anything else you've ever seen. And I can tell you right now that it succeeds in doing that, but whether that's a good or a bad thing remains to be seen. Dinotopia was released in 2003 by Vicious Cycle Software. I'll be playing the GameCube version, but the Xbox version is the most well known. The game opens with our main character running from a T-Rex in the middle of a storm. He runs as fast as he can, but the T-Rex catches up to him and bites his head off, which causes him to fly forward. And just as the T-Rex is about to deliver the final blow,
Drake! What?
it was all a dream. We play as Drake, and our brother Jacob is leading us to the tutorial of the game. But before we get there, we have to sit through a big helping of exposition, with two people that totally have real Scottish accents.
Mr. Polly. This stupid island's been nothing but trouble since we were stranded here 10 years ago. First, Dad gets crippled in the wreck. And then he felt like we owe Dinotopia some big debt of gratitude. You know there's more to it than that. Dad was in the rainy basin because of us. He was trying to surprise us for our 24th birthday. Accident my foot. Some snaggle-toothed dinosaur eats my dad. That's no accident. That's murder. And I'm gonna get revenge. We might not see eye to eye on this, but you are my brother, and I still care about you. Thanks. Goodbye.
Wow, the first 10 minutes of this game are just riveting. In case you didn't catch it. 10 years ago, Drake, Jacob, and their father washed ashore on this unknown island where humans and dinosaurs live in peaceful harmony. Their father is then promptly killed by a dinosaur, and his last request was for his two sons to protect Dinotopia. Jacob doesn't want to do that though, because that's stupid, and instead goes off to join a group known as the Outsiders, who are dinosaur racists, like him. Drake is gonna do it though, because apparently he has nothing better going on. The tutorial is all about teaching combat, but I'll hold off talking about that until a bit later. Our first step as a protector is to seek out Miss Oxbridge at the forest outpost. After getting there, you can talk to most of the inhabitants in what is basically a hub world. And in doing so, I found out that the dinosaurs can talk.
Hi there. I wonder if you could help out a fellow Dinotopia.
I was not expecting that. Drake manages to find Miss Oxbridge, and after giving us an easy platform puzzle, she informs us that she is the Sage of the Mind. And to become a guardian of Dinotopia, we need to improve our mind, body, and spirit. And our first test is to head down to the farms and save someone called the Matriarch. The farms are full of outsiders, and now is as good time as any to talk about the combat. The game uses a lock-on system for the fighting, and for the most part, it's pretty responsive, especially when you're blocking or dodging. You attack using your staff, which has different mallet heads, that when upgraded, have abilities you can use in battle. The wooden mallet head becomes a sparkler that doubles your damage. The stone mallet head has an AoE attack that stuns enemies. The bone mallet head gives you a shield. And the metal mallet head leeches health. You also get experience from completing quests or winning battles. And when you level up, you unlock new attack combos. But you'll never end up using them, because just rapidly pressing the attack button is safer than relying on combos that are really unresponsive or just plain don't work. With all that though, the fighting does get repetitive after a while, and by the end I found myself running away from most battles. After making our way through the farms, we're able to find the Matriarch.
The Matriarch is ill. Just look at her.
I mean, it kinda just looks like she got punched in the gut, but what do I know? We retrieved the medicine from an outsider around the corner and managed to heal her. And as thanks, she not only gives us armor which boosts our defense, but we also get our first sunstones which can be used to upgrade our weapons. And after returning to Miss Oxbridge, we're given one last test, to master our own mind. It's a scavenger hunt. A really terrible one, as you have to search around town for tiny plaques that are hidden behind trees and houses. This part is really dumb. And afterwards, you do a memory quiz.
Excellent. Now, congratulations. You passed my test. Perhaps you do have the sharp mind required of a guardian of Dinotopia.
Oh yes, answering a 4-question quiz with no time limit requires a sharp mind. Regardless, because of our sharp mind, the Sage of the Body wants to see us. And so we're off. Along the way we run into this, lovely gentleman.
Are you the hermit?
Sorry there, Sonny. I ain't no hermity type. No, siree. Hey, I know. If you be going to the hermit, you might run across some of those berries. They be pretty rare, even in these here swamps. But if you find some, I'll trade you for summon in me sack.
Just like most side missions in this game, this one involves finding an item hidden in the level. And the game encourages you to do them, as you can get sunstones and armor for rewards. But for the most part, I did not find them enjoyable. First, because of this garbage camera, which has a bad habit of getting stuck on things. Secondly, if you get to the end of the level and you missed one item, that means you have to backtrack through the whole thing again, tediously searching for that final piece. But that doesn't even compare to the amount of invisible walls that are placed in some of these levels. It's like a maze just to get to an item for a side quest. But luckily, almost all these side quests are optional, so if they become too tedious, you can always skip them. After getting the old man his berries, Drake finds the Sage of the Body, who is some type of sloth/gorilla creature. So to prove that Drake is a real guardian, we have to defeat his samurai friend here. At least that's what I thought he was until I heard what he sounds like. This boss fight, I guess you could call it, is okay. To replenish your health, you have to walk over these glowy plants, so there's no real risk of dying, but you do way too little damage, so the whole thing takes way longer than it should. But I managed to defeat him, and afterwards the sloth gorilla man lets us know that the outsiders are making pollution that will end up destroying Dinotopia unless we do something about it. So he tells us to go get a strutter, whatever that is. And after going through a pretty fun flying section, which I sucked at, and descending into a gem cave, we meet up with the last sage, who gives Drake his own robot dinosaur, otherwise known as a strutter.
A group of raptors ambushed me and stole my precious egg.
Yeah, sorry about your baby and all, lady, but I got a robot to ride. Your robot has a shield, it can even shoot laser beams, and look at this move! This is what robots do. It's awesome. Too bad this is the only time in the game where you get to do this. That section ends pretty quick though, and now we gotta go save some more dinosaurs from a fire or something.
We are doomed! I tell you, doomed! I know you can't help really, as we are doomed, but the tower is that way.
Well, at least we get to see the old man again, who's rocking some sick, hot pink pants. This time he's asking Drake to get his hat back from a raptor that stole it nearby, and after killing it we get another piece of armor as a reward. A cool thing that you may not have noticed is that the armor shows up on the character model, and as you progress through the game it gets more and more badass. Still a shame that you can't wear the sombrero though. One other thing that this game does not skimp out on is the level design. Every place that you go to feels like a believable part of this world, and is put together very nicely. I eventually make my way through the level, and back to Miss Oxbridge, who says Drake is doing a good job, and gives us a little pep talk, which is apparently exactly what he needed. With that, he unlocks his new hidden potential of the double jump. It's less of a double jump and more of an extended single jump. He doesn't go any higher in the air, he just stays there for longer. Whatever it is, we have to put it to quick use because the outsiders are attacking and pillaging a nearby settlement. And as the Guardian, it's our job to save all the people in need.
Oh, thank you for freeing me, sir. Now I can get home and take my cookies out of the oven. I don't want burnt cookies.
What a hero. Well, at least we saved this guy who is actually in danger of dying.
My back friends here can now get something to eat. I think they were getting a bit weird in here, looking at my legs and talking about drumsticks, whatever those are.
After saving the village, Drake heads back to the Sage of the Body, who celebrates our victory.
A guardian of Dinotopia. Well done, my friend. Well done indeed.
Then a bird comes by with a message from our brother to meet him at the ruins for some plot. And along the way we meet up with the old man, yet again.
Like all raptors, they be sneaky and thievish types.
Wow, racist. And after getting his stylish boots back, we get a prize much better than armor.
Well, lad, thanks again for getting me boots. Now, step back. I'm gonna dance. Watch me now. Ooh, I'm winking my body. Ooh.
I don't know, I thought that was pretty great. Anyway, after that we catch up with our brother.
Everybody knows that Zane is a pretty ruthless man.
Excuse me? Wait, what? Who's Zane?
People to build the factory he uses to make strutters. I decided to search Zane's personal quarters, and I found this, Dad's amulet. It's got to be Dad that Zane's holding. Dad could actually be alive. That's horrible, Jacob. I'm going to the Outsider's fort, and I'll confront Zane myself. I'll demand that he release you and Dad. Really have to be going. Please, Drake, don't even try to confront Zane. He's far too powerful for you. Thanks. Goodbye.
Well, despite our brother's warning, we go off to confront this Zane.
This your brother, Jacob?
Oh, there he is.
It's time that this cursed land of talking lizards be brought under control. And I guess that would be under your control, huh? Yes, my control. But I'm a fair man. A reasonable man.
He says as he brandishes his spiky club.
Tell you what. If you can defeat my best warrior, Then I will let your brother go. I will allow him to break his oath.
The bodyguard is easily beaten, but of course, Zane was lying.
Grab him. No, Zane, let him go. He fought fairly. He won.
Okay, I'm gonna go off this direction now.
Life isn't fair, Jacob. Get rid of him now.
Zane's goons surround Drake while he sort of stands there. Okay, now we're in some kind of dream world. Or are we in purgatory? Is Drake dead? I mean, I'm being chased by 3 old samurai men. There's trippy music in the background, so it's anyone's guess, really. But apparently we're not dead, because one of the samurais wakes us up in the swamp. And after a pretty terrible trailing mission with the AI, we meet up with everybody. And after they laughed at how I got my butt kicked for a bit, they all decide to finally put a stop to the Outsiders' terrorism. First thing we gotta do is fight our way through a T-Rex and a couple robots to reach the Outsiders' factory. And I don't know why this part couldn't have been another Strutter level. And along the way we even managed to find Not Dead Dad, and very useless Jacob, hanging out in the mines.
Nothing will be able to stop them. Watch out though. It is a living machine like the Strutters it produces. If you can raise the pressure inside of it, you'll be able to destroy it. But be careful.
I think it'd be best if the two of you were to go back to the forest outpost. I'll meet you back there later.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Just like Dad said, a big machine is causing pollution, and to defeat it, we have to go through the most infuriating part of this game, where 3 robot claws endlessly respawn and attack you while you try to flip 3 switches with a button that is super unresponsive even though you're right in front of them, and even when you do flip a switch, one of the robots comes by and flips it back while the other 2 attack you, so it's not like you can do anything, and I seriously don't know how you're supposed to do this normally. How I won was one of the robots glitched out of bounds and I was able to rush all the levers. And after destroying the factory, we finally get to take on Zane himself.
Here to meet your maker, Drake. This is the greatest, most powerful strutter ever. I will crush you.
Okay, and after that, we finally get to take on the real Zane.
Destroyed my precious strutter. Now you've asked for it. I will swat you down like a fly. Hit me with your best shot.
Oh my god. There is only one word to describe this pose, and that is fabulous.
So sexy.
For a final boss fight, it's pretty good. It makes nice use of the combat mechanics to make it challenging, and it has a nice build-up. The only bad part is that during the fight, you get interrupted by cutscenes, which blows. After killing Zane, the Outsiders disband and Dinotopia is saved. And everyone stands together and congratulates Drake for how great he did, and how much he's grown, and how legendary a guardian he is, and basically they just suck his dick until the end credits start rolling. This game is a mixed bag. There were things that sucked, and mechanics that got really stale after a while, but the level design was nice, the characters were interesting, and the various types of gameplay were all very fun and fluid. I wish there was more playtime spent on the good parts, and less of the And the game is short. I beat it in just under 5 hours, and a solid hour of that was just me dicking around. Maybe it's just because I have more experience with another game where the staff looting hero saves talking dinosaurs, but Dinotopia did not impress me. At least that's what I would say about the game, but that's not all there is. This game is based off a book series of the same name, but it wasn't the only byproduct that came from it. There was also a TV series that eventually had a reboot. There was also an animated series, but we don't need to talk about that one. The original TV series, however, had a long, fruitful life of 3 episodes, and also featured an all-star cast. We got Katie Carr, Tyrone Leetzo, and whoa! Wentworth Miller was in this? He's Captain Cold. That's Snart, dude. Well, that settles it. Now I gotta check this out. The show is almost completely different from the game. It's the same premise. 2 brothers wash ashore on Dinotopia with their lost, presumed dead dad, but none of the same characters are kept. Instead of following Jacob and Drake, we have Carl and David. There's also completely new characters like Marianne, who serves as a guide for the 2 brothers and a love interest for Drake. I mean, David. Shit. But they did keep the personalities mostly the same. David is still the level-headed older brother.
I think the rules here are different, and we better start learning them.
And Carl is still a piece of shit dinosaur hater.
Feel superior to them.
Well, yeah, you bet I do.
But you're not.
Carl feels superior to everything.
If dinosaurs are so smart, then how come they're doing all the manual labor?
Dinosaurs take pride in their strength.
Well, they're still carrying us around on their backs.
There's many things you can learn from a brachiosaurus.
Oh yeah? Like what?
Like humility.
Instead of the story revolving around becoming a guardian, it's more about the brothers adjusting to this new world full of ancient culture and CGI dinosaurs. There's like this whole scene where they have to register as citizens in this weird senate.
Our last off-worlder was shipwrecked in 1944. So what have been the principal changes in your society since then? What? Oh, yes. Are you still at war with the Germans?
No, we won that one.
Oh, well done.
Significant events. Let's see. There was the war in Vietnam. Let's see, what else? The space program. Apollo 11, that's when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. Technology's very advanced these days. We all have mobile phones and DVDs and laptops, and everybody's on the internet.
I'm sorry, I think we've all got a little confused. I thought you said that someone walked on the moon. Thank you.
The most significant event in my history is falling out of the sky and watching my father swept away to drown.
Way to kill the mood, Carl.
Welcome to Dinotopia.
And then the next scene just starts with no closure as to what happened after he said that. It's just amazing. And then this library raptor, I'm coining the term library raptor by the way, lets them crash at his place.
Well, I think I know what Dad would say. He'd say this was a great adventure. We should be exploring and seeing things that no one's ever seen before. Maybe we should stay, just for a little while. See what life is like here.
Maybe that's because you don't have a life back home.
Carl is kind of like the worst, and as it progresses, he just gets more and more on edge.
Well, it wasn't me who was flying the plane.
What do you mean? Do you blame me for what happened to you?
Let go of me! Let go of me!
If you ever say that again, I'll kill you, David. I swear I will.
Mammals.
This could seriously be its own 30-minute review. There's some great moments, and the story is way better than the game. And sure, it's fun to laugh at the terrible acting or the awkward pacing, but the show actually has great timing for some of the jokes.
I thought... I thought...
You thought a T-Rex was coming to get you.
Yeah.
And knows when to dial it back for the serious moments. I loved watching this so much, and if you are at all curious for anything Dinotopian, check out the show. You won't regret it. Hey, if you got this far in the video, that must mean you enjoyed it at least a little bit. Or maybe someone dared you or something. But either way, thank you. If you want to enjoy more videos in the future, you can leave a like or subscribe. Or if you want to get some revenge, you can dare someone to watch one of these videos. I think that's a win-win for everyone involved.